Good morning! It's time for your morning latte! Woo! Good morning, guys. Hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are having a happy Tuesday. Happy 3:03. Apparently, today is the first full moon of the Lunar New Year, which is really exciting. So I heard. I haven't logged on very often. My bad. Might have heard there's a lunar eclipse that happened. Maybe. I heard in Asia today. Perchance. I wouldn't know, right? All your mornings at 2 p.m. Thank you. No worries, no worries. You know, sometimes people wake up at 2 p.m. and that's perfectly normal. I'm not naming any names here, but perhaps one of them starts with a, you know, it starts with an L, ends with a ate. Anyway, what's on the menu for today? Well, on the menu for today, as you might know, we have a dating sim. If you guys didn't read the title, that's okay. I also don't read titles. We have a dating sim we gotta get to. So, that'll be our priority for today. Real quick, I want to check all my stuff and get all my basic daily stuff done. And while we're here, let's chat a little bit about our perceptions. Can't sell latte that late. This is when I usually start. I mean, I think it's probably fine. Oops. Oh, bad. Well, anyway. Gilberta story? Yeah. That's what I heard about it. I don't really mind. But, you know, that is what I've heard. What was that projection? What did I say? I don't even remember. What was I saying? I don't even remember anymore. Anyway. My point is, today, sanity discounts. I thought I finished this event. Sorry, I'm clicking on it. I know you guys can't see it, but I finished this event. So what do they want me to do beyond this? The story was also date more or less. I guess, yeah. Would you consider going through your memories a day? I don't know. So is Yvonne's story? I hadn't heard that about Yvonne's story. I heard that it was like an epilogue to Valley 4. But I heard that Gilberta is the most like, you know, that kind of story. Basically, everyone wants to date the admin. I mean, it is what it is, you know. Can't help that. Like 600 sanity lost there, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about my lost sanity. It's not important. Anyway. About the live stream the live stream 2 days ago. If you guys joined the stream for that, or this stream, because I also, it's not a live stream, sorry, the update, the devlog update for the next update, the update for the next update, yeah. It seems we're getting a new area to the west of Dingy Valley. We're gonna get the old stockade, which is kind of interesting. Some of the sceneries look to be really cool. I would date the penguin illustrator if I go. That's crazy.
No
anyway.
one escapes my gaze.
Oh, what the heck? No one escapes my gaze, he says. I spawn right in front of him. What was I saying? I don't really know if there's a whole lot that I'm particularly interested in for the next update, right? Hopefully the story will be fun and I'll be streaming that. But well, that's too deep. But I don't know. I think I need to think of another thing to do, like another kind of thing to stream. When we're done all the Enfield quests. So, you know, I'll take some suggestions for that. Must have been the wind. Yeah, so because I think there's might not be as much content next time for the Enfield, I'll be taking some suggestions if there's anything else you guys think I should play. I'm personally eyeing a game called Subway. I don't know what it's called, but it's like you build public transit, and that's something I've been thinking about lately. The other option was Overwatch, because I was thinking about Overwatch, which is really bad, mind you. I got rid of my Overwatch addiction like genuinely a decade ago. Whoa, you can get in through here. Yeah, I've been out of my Overwatch addiction for like a decade, and I really don't want to go back. But I was thinking about it yesterday. I was like, man, I kind of want to play Overwatch again. So, please don't say that game. Mini Metro? No, not Mini Metro. It's like a more comprehensive one. It's a more autistic one. Something else. Anyway, I'll figure out the name of it sometime, some other time. Let's see, Gilberta, who dealt with the story for, yeah. Overwatch is over a decade old. Overwatch is in fact over a decade old. That's true. What's the other option I was thinking? I was thinking about playing Where Winds Meet again, but I'd have to reinstall it because I kind of uninstalled it when I had to update a lot of other games, and then I realized I didn't play Zenless anymore. So, well, you know, there's that as well, right? I don't really want to go back to playing Zenless at this point either. So it's like, you know, suggestions, but not these ones. So not this game High Guard don't. Edge Space mode. We could play Edge Space. I forget the full name of it is, but yeah, we could play some of that as well. I'm just aggregating some ideas just in case. You know, you never know. It seems we really can't get up here manually, huh? That's okay, I suppose. Where am I? Well, anyway. Satisfactory now that you interact with factory making. I'll be honest with you guys, I don't think I could play another factory builder because imagine how long those streams would be. Could you imagine? My god. What else is on the possibility list? Oh, they just died. That's fine too. Anyway, yeah, I guess we got a decent list. So I mean, if you have things in your brain, maybe a hyperfixation, you could always let me know in the Discord server, and I do check it even if I don't reply, because I am really bad at that. So there's that. And anyway, let's get into the gaming. I've meandered enough. Yeah. Eugenics? I don't know about that one. I've never heard of it before. Our secret plan to get more latte maker play Victoria games. Unfortunately, I'm not limited by my gaming. I'm not limited by games for more streams. I'm limited by my social capability. That's always how it will be. You know, unless you can, like, I don't know, inject the ability to be social. I don't really know if we could do anything like that. Anyway, let's see what she sent me. She sent me a mouse staring at the sun and some cats on a wire. Okay. She sent me some bread. Man, I could go for some bread right now. But yeah, Isaac both made by the same dev. Oh, really? Okay. I see, I see. So that's why you suggested it. I see. That's cute too. Enjoying yourself? Yeah, and I want to share the happy moments with you. What brings you to Valley 4? Carla distress signal reached me as well. I found everyone in need of aid. And you have a heart of gold, Gil. Why does she... Okay, I am really confused, actually. Why this quest starts out with a text message? That seems like we're familiar already. I'm actually really confused by this. Is there an explanation for this? Or is it just like, pretend you've met her before? Because, like, I don't know. These two options are both kind of familiar. You have a heart of gold, Gil. Will you be staying here? Will you be staying here, I guess? I'm new here. These people deserve every effort I can make. Okay. I'm sure your help is very much needed. I was wondering if you're around. Yeah. Always wonder if you got time. Like, actual spare time, you're always so busy. Yeah. Please come to Hub Base. I need your help. Nothing serious. Please say yes. I got something nice for you. Send me the coordinates. This is what happens when you're dating somebody. Like, you presumably, the person is initiating the conversation, right? Like, oh, look at these photos I have, and I want to share how many with you. Let's hang out, let's hang out. And then the other person that you text is like, I'm around. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I do. For sure, dude. Yeah. No idea? Okay, so I assume it is just that she was written into the story before, and then they just forgot to add her, and now her quest is like this. Fascinating. Anyway. Actually, forget even dating, dude. Just like talking to friends sometimes feels like that, dude. I like my friends, but sometimes they are the driest texters on this goddamn planet, dude. I don't want to. Again, they're my friends. I don't want to be mean, but like, man, come on. There's not even an effort made for conversation sometimes, man. Anyway, that's okay. Robot happy. Transfer the sarcophagus. Oh, okay. Whoa, legs. Why are you looking at her butt? This music's cute. She's there to defend us from being attacked. Oh, okay, I see. Dang, and then she just... And we just didn't know that she existed, I guess, huh? Crazy. Her stuff. Gilberta works for Rose Island. She does part of Enfield, part of her work. Well, that's more like logically how we know her. We're not actually shown the meeting, huh? She's super friendly with everyone. Yeah. That's okay. I mean, she's always been, right? It's just like, it's a little bit awkward when someone texts you like that and you're like, I literally don't even know who you are. Like, the game, it makes it seem like we're supposed to know her already. Which is why I was confused. You look busy. Does she look busy? Is it going to profile? Oh, okay, I see. Some folks grouped in like the darker story and how it's all happy clappy. I've never heard happy clappy before. But yeah, no, I think stories should have a little bit of A, a little bit of B, you know? Just do it with nuance. Look busy, I suppose.
Administrator.
Cute. Her heels are so loud though. What are you looking at?
Uh, it's nothing. I'm waiting for you, Endman, and just zoning out while I'm at it.
Is her English voice actress the same as in Arknights? What are you doing in Valley 4?
Delivering. The Valley has plenty of packages to send, but only a few messengers are around. That's why I'm here to help. After all, I'm a messenger.
I'm sure you are, girly. And these packages.
These packages need to go to the hub base. I've got quite a few more to deliver. People here have been through a terrible incident, and I want to give them some encouragement.
Encouragement. Something about her, like, slight accent. I don't know. That's how you call her there.
Oh.
Here.
Everyone's feeling a little low after the incident. I figured your presence would brighten everyone's mood.
Brighten?
So I looked through my contacts, wondering whether I should ask you to come or not. I just didn't want to be a bother. Maybe just this once.
The fingers.
Help me out, Endman? Pretty please?
She's got the British actor trying to sound American accent. I think that's what it is. Artist is not a fresh decapitated head in the FedEx event. Like regular Arknights? Or is there something I'm missing in Enfield?
Oh,
How can I help you?
there are just a few packages left and the sun is about to set.
The wink?
I'm thinking we make the last deliveries together?
Okay, girly pop. Whatever you say. Letter from a messenger. Let's go.
This package needs to reach the canteen. The recipient should be one of the staff there. It's almost mealtime, so we need to hurry.
It's almost mealtime.
If you're ready, Endman.
Oh, you're gonna. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's go on a journey, girly pop. And we're gonna be on a timer to send the food.
I've spent a few days at the Valley. The UWST canteen staff kindly made some meals for me. As for the taste, picky isn't really on the menu in times like this. Everyone's doing their best to bring the good old days back.
I'm sure they are, honey. What the heck is this person, dude? Why are they so far away? Oh my god. Completely different voice actors? Okay. So they're kind of following the pattern then.
Oh, is this our order of special condiments?
Condiments?
Thank you, Miss Messenger. Just in time.
I guess it's like to really sell the fact that they are different people. In a way.
Underground water pipes have been contaminated by the blight. We don't even have safe food and water anymore.
Not that we really
The
know,
crew will
like,
have to make do with food
what the
rations.
reconveners are.
Oh, that's rough. But you're doing an incredible job.
Now, with these condiments, field rations will taste far better. Thank you so much for helping us. And that goes double for you, Endman. If you weren't here, the disaster might have never ended.
They hired Nimsy and voice actor for Gibby? Oh, okay. It is interesting to me that they are, like, going with different voices like that. Interesting, interesting. Thinking emoji. Hey, Legion's good to see you. Take the second package from Gilberta. I'm not gonna lie. It feels a bit strange that we're doing a fetch quests like this. But, you know, I think she's cute, and I would do a lot of things to get the attention of a cute girl, so... Like, you know, it is what it is.
Package description reads, Precision Machine Parts. I think this goes to the core AIC area. I've delivered plenty of things like this. We need to make sure it arrives without a single dent or scratch.
First person mode.
Otherwise, the recipients will get really upset and loud. Fingers crossed for no hiccups.
So true, girly. First person POV.
Tell me when you're ready, and
I like her
and then
eyes.
we'll set off.
Let's set a start timer. Like what? Like what would I do for cute girl's attention? A lot of things.
Have you been back there since the crisis? The area was really devastated by the disaster. I wonder if things got better.
Do they want me to like zipline over? Do I have a zipline system here? I don't think so. Dude! Man. Made of originium, I wonder if it can still be infected. Made of originium? I feel like that poses a lot of other questions and issues. Man, it would be nice if I could reach my zipline system all the way over there. Sure, would be nice.
What?
Oh, wait.
This is normal.
For gaming? Awesome sauce. Hey, little buddy. How are you doing? It's been a while.
Oh, Edmund. Is this a special day? You're personally delivering a package for me.
I just noticed this like circle thing in her this circle cutout in her blowing thing.
And hello there,
It's
Miss
fascinating. It's
Bessie.
fascinating.
I hope the parts are still in good working order.
Not enough zipline coverage. I don't really care to have that many ziplines. Like I kind of don't feel like I need that many. I don't know.
Don't worry, the package is in pristine condition.
They are pulled out of originium and reborn. They can still get affected. Oh, that makes a little bit more sense, I suppose. Not all the sense, but like there's still lots of questions there. But it's interesting. That makes a little bit more sense.
Our partnership with the UWST is going well. Getting clean water is our primary concern right now.
Oh yeah, clean water. Might I introduce you to this lovely little city called Uli?
Yeah, the canteen lady also said that the drinking water has been polluted.
Makes zero sense to me. That's fair.
Not just drinking water. We're also really low on industrial water. Our current solution is to use centrifuges for simple purification and pollutant removal.
Yeah, might I introduce you to the technology of a different distant land?
And thank goodness my order for the special parts has arrived. If we stay on schedule, our large facilities should be able to start working tomorrow.
Oh my, your job sounds really tough.
I read a lot. The more I read, the more confused I get about what Originium is. Did you play the original Arknights, or is it like because you played original Arknights, you also have a lot of questions as a result?
Never mind me. The Edmund's here, so everyone knows things will work out. Oh, I gotta dash to a job. We'll catch up on the good old times later.
Oh, setting lines, it feels good to have nice shortcuts. I agree with that. I just like, I don't want to. I'd rather teleport places. I think the other thing is, very increasable CNC, but people create a lot more. Because of original Arknights, whether you feel they don't always jive. Oh, so there's some contradictions, you think?
Final package. Description reads, medication. I think this one is meant for the medical bay. Sounds like a lot of vials and bottles. We must be gentle with this one.
I haven't really paid attention to like how they're different. Well, like granted, I'm not as familiar with I guess like some of the settings of Originium and the original Arknights, right? It's either been a while or I haven't read some things, so I'd have to take some time to do that.
If you're ready, Endman, we can set off anytime.
There's a huge gap? Oh, okay. The only gap I can think of is like the usage and like the perception. That's all I have.
Everyone in the medical bay is kind
Do
of
not jump or dash,
We
bro.
have to handle way too many patients. There aren't enough beds, and people are running out of ideas. Seeing children in the medical bay also makes me really sad. None of them should suffer like this.
I have a zipline around here somewhere. I just don't know where it is. Oh, it's back there. Does this get to where I needed to go? I don't remember what I did. Oh, never mind. I know now. Delivery time, dude. Man. Ow, my face. And then I have to walk the rest of the way, I guess. Oh, there's 8 seconds. Oh my god, dude. I'm killing myself. This is ridiculous. What the heck, dude?
It's alright. Oopsies happen. Let's just head back.
I mean, she's cute, though. Man. Dude, they don't even show me where it is, though. It's like, it's down here, I suppose. Bro, for real?
Package, if you're ready, Endman.
Anyway, whatever. That's stupid.
Everyone in the medical bay is kind-hearted, but they have to handle way too many patients. There aren't enough beds, and people are running out of ideas. Seeing children in the medical bay also makes me
Cute best unit to have against groups.
none of
If only I had her. Alright, do you think we can make it 80 meters in 30 seconds? Thinking it's gonna be kind of rough, but I think we can make it. Oh yeah, we got it.
Is this the medication we've been asking for? Thank goodness it's finally arrived.
You know, guys, I think the other thing I was thinking, like, I don't mind dating sims and stuff like this, but man, I want them to have more chemistry. I want to see the characters interact in interesting ways, right? But man,
We have so many injured and our medical supplies are running low. I can't imagine what things would be like if we didn't get restocked. You two are true lifesavers.
yeah, I got your luck from OG does not carry over. I hate to break it to you. I think I'm just like a naturally unlucky person. You think you'll pull for Tung Tung or Rosie? I like Rosie more, unfortunately. I think Tung Tung is really cool and cute. And I would like her. I just, like, from both a character perspective and, like, a gameplay perspective, I feel like Rosie would probably fit my teams more. Right? Tung Tung's cool and awesome, right? I love the captain. But on the other hand, I don't know. I really like Little Red Riding Hood. And I think it's, how do I say? I think her familial bond with Wolfguard is really cute. And I want to see more of that.
Oh, and Gilberta, while you were away, little Carly refused to get her injections again.
Again, but I told her she'd get a prize if she took her medication properly. All right, Carly. Miss Gilberta is back.
Yeah, I think...
Little Carly must have bounced back.
I feel like, what's this
She's
guy
been
doing
running all over
here?
the place.
Oh,
She
he's
was
just
here and
he's vibing.
now she's gone again. Carly loves playing hide and seek. Gilberta, would you mind playing along and finding her for us?
No
Only time
problem.
for gameplay purposes, that's fair. I do think the way that she works is really interesting. I don't know how good she'll be, right? But I think the ability to like completely stall an enemy in place is really nice.
Found you, Carly. I win. I don't want
Like me for
needles.
Licia,
I
yeah.
want to play with cameras.
Okay, camera girl.
Cameras? So, you weren't just running away from the needles because you were scared?
I'm not gonna lie, I think it's so funny watching Gilberta's hair phase into her cheek. And it's always this side. The other side doesn't do it at all, but this one keeps doing it and it's really funny.
The security guard gave me his old camera. He also told me I'll become a great photographer.
On chemistry between characters and Endman? Dude, if you're gonna do something that's like a hangout dating sim kind of vibe, I think you should make it seem like I want it, like I want them to kiss, you know? Like, I think you should sell that more. Your photographers never miss their injections.
take a proper photo. What photo should I take? Oh, I don't know.
The reason I say that is because I was thinking about like so I've been watching Talon's B-side, right? Really good show, by the way. Even if you guys aren't into like, you know, shoujo anime, romance, whatever, I think Talon's B-side is really good. And it really it's a really good look at like, you know, fandom culture, right? Especially among women. It's really sweet, it's really cute. But I was thinking like half the reason I like it is because the way that the characters interact with each other is really unique and fresh and fun, right? And I feel like that's something that I miss in a lot of gacha games. Or not that I miss, but like I don't feel it nearly as much, right? Because the characters are sometimes less interesting, less complex, right? Obviously, I think there's a nuance there because like in anime, you have to exaggerate the characters more because otherwise you don't know what the characters are thinking, right? Whereas that's not really a stipulation that you need to have in games. But I was thinking about that. Do you feel like the strong pathetic lesbian gaze? I think she's cute, right? I just didn't feel like there's anything. I felt like it was completely one-sided, right? And not even in a longing, like cute way. It was just like, I don't know. It just felt really one-sided in a way that I didn't even like. I don't know, have strong feelings about. Alright, I love unrequited love. I don't know. It was cute, but I wish I had more. You know. Like as the viewer, I think the viewer should also be yearning, right? As the player of the game, you should also be feeling this like this tension between the player and the character in question, right? The whole amnesia thing gets in the way. I don't even think it's the amnesia, to be honest. I think it's more than that. I think you're totally right. An amnesiac that also happens to be like, you know, hopelessly popular with a woman, right? I think that's actually really compelling. And to develop an actual personality. I mean, I don't know if it's like that Enmin hasn't developed a personality. I just feel like most of the characters, even if they have individual personalities, it doesn't feel like they have like sparks between them, you know? Everyone talks to each other like they're coworkers, and I guess like that's true. But like it doesn't feel like there's any like chemistry between any of them, right? Even between NPCs. I think it's something like that, right? It's like character interactions are interesting. So I say like with MC, right? With me, because that's what I care about. But also, I think it'd be like that. It'd be okay with like any character. Hero worship for the heaven too is very uneven. Yeah. But again, like I don't think the Enmin glazing or worship or whatever is the problem. I think it's the fact that I don't feel the kind of tension between any of the character dynamics, right? Dude, Chen and Perlica, right? You could think, in theory, they have really strong Yuri potential, right? You have the scientist lady, who is kind of like cold, and she's very precise, but she's also kind of awkward socially, right? And then you have this really excitable, bubbly, cheerful girl, who is like her complete opposite, right? There is like some really good Yuri potential there, but you don't see it because they treat Chen and Perlica as like co-workers who hate each other, but not even that. It's like they just work together. I don't know. I feel like I don't feel like that's explored, right? They're in all the scenes together, but I don't feel anything between the two of them, right? And that makes me really mad. There would be some really good potential there. I don't see Chen, Perlica, and Enmin maybe anything. Well, that's what I'm saying, right? Because they haven't written Chen and Perlica to have any chemistry, I think that's a waste. Perlica does occasionally tease Chen. Yeah, and she, like, I don't know, like, that's the thing, right? They're in all these scenes together, but they don't have chemistry. Like, Yuri or as friends, to be honest. Like, I say Yuri because, like, that's what I want to see. But, I think even as friends, they don't really have chemistry with each other. I still believe that Edmund has these voice lines. I think that's also true. Edmund having more voice lines would help, certainly. Right? Edmund having a personality would help with this, but like again, you just give the characters chemistry. It's not. I mean, it's not easy, but. And then there's cohorts of shenanigans. That's their chemistry. Yeah, and I get it, right? I'm just saying, right? That you could totally write it so that they are more interesting together, right? That's what I think. like how do I say? I just think in another series, characters like Chen and Perlica would be really interesting together. Personally, Perlica has 0 personality. I think that's also kind of the problem, right? Chen and Perlica by themselves are kind of one note, but I think one note characters are the most interesting when paired with other characters who are one note, right? I'm gonna talk about Taman's visa again. Any Chen Perlica fanfics me soon? I don't see, like, I don't ship it. I don't see the ship, right? So I don't feel like writing it. But like, I'm just talking about from a theoretical perspective, right? We're talking about theoretical Yuri shipping, right? Where it's like theoretical mathematics, but it's like, you know, sociology, I guess. Like a certain behavior is her personality. Yeah, but like, I don't know. Think of your favorite anime. I'm thinking of one right now. That's like been kind of popular. That's like, I don't know, relatively like brain slop, I'll say. What's a comedy show I've seen recently? Comedy. I think like I was gonna say like Apothecary Diaries kind of fits because like they're not one note, but they don't have, how do I say, they're not like the most interesting characters in the world, right? But they have really good dynamic together in a way. Burn from the Freelancer in the same way as Perlica. I disagree with that, but that's a good example. That's a good example, actually. Did you read the comics yet? No, I haven't actually. But yeah, no, I think you could say it like Fern by herself isn't a very interesting character, right? Freyrin by herself maybe isn't a very interesting character. Stark by himself isn't that very like that interesting of a character, right? But like when you put them all together, it makes the dynamic of Freyrin really compelling, right? And I just don't feel that with ENDFIELD. That's the issue. That's the issue, guys. I need the characters to interact with each other and be interesting together. Anyway, they touched on the Perlica and Min relationship a bit more. Okay. I haven't read them, I don't think, because I haven't just like come across them, I believe. I don't think I've just like accidentally chanced upon them. I had to take some time to look at it. Nobody here reads comics to ship Perlica with Edmund? That's crazy. Comics made it harder to ship him? Oh, wow. I don't know. Anyway, my point is here, like, I don't think any of the characters are shippable, dude. I kind of, how do I say? Not that ships are the only thing that you need in a story, but I think a good story should have the potential for ships. And I just don't feel that potential. What are the biggest ships in ENDFIELD? Anyway, like I can't think of any. Okay, I guess yeah. But like neither of them are playable right now, and that's only because they're like ideologically opposed, I would say, right? And then they get together in the end where they like, you know, they find similar ground. And like that's potential. That is potential. Everybody ex Edmund? I guess, yeah. I don't know. I guess. Alright. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys see my point. I wish that we had a lot more. The other piece is good to you. Both Mifu and Hanga will be playable. They're not playable yet. They're not playable yet. I only really see various combinations of Enmin, Chen, Perlica. Yeah, okay. Man, that's so sad, dude. Perlica with Chin. Fascinating. That's a unique one for sure. Is more likely the characters interact nicely with each other without the MC being there? Yeah, for sure. And Camera Hexavon, true. I forgot about that one. It's a very popular ship. Anyway, let's continue.
Photos look ugly. My Originium Slug photos look ugly. The long ears kept jumping around, and all my photos ended up super blurry.
Sorry, we were chatting with this like small child here, and I'm complaining that like the characters don't seem interesting because they don't interact with each other well. My bad, small child. Imagine doing this in real life. The small child's talking to you, just like, okay, hold on, stop talking. Let's talk about how character dynamics create compelling fiction.
Maybe try snapping things you like, Carly. It'll be fun.
Gilberta says this as if she doesn't like rocks. Some strange stuff. Okay, I'll check it out later. Thank you. Those two goofballs in the power plateau. Those guys need to hug it out already. The power plateau. More Ardashir appearances. We'll get more Ardashir and Endman. That is true. I have seen. There's like a sizable, growing Ardashir x Endman ship. And like that's interesting for the same reason that Mifu and Tong Tong is interesting, right? Isn't it like Carly?
What do I like? I like you, Miss Gilberta.
I mean, this is kind of cute, right? Like, oh yeah. I respect that. Yuri awakening, you know? Gotta start him young. Keeps forgetting his spell. No worries. His name's kind of weird.
Oh, I like you as well, Carly.
Why don't you take a photo of Miss Gilberta? I like his design. I think he's so silly.
I want to do that. But all my photos look ugly.
Ardashir. I think that guy, he's got the sad eyes that you only see in a Eastern European adult media, if you know what I mean. The two guys who signed both share the lead and they keep arguing. Oh, sorry. I'll be honest. I can't remember the locations off the top of my head, but no, I know what you're talking about now. The guys under Crow, yeah. I think they have like a yaoi thing going on for sure. I think the way that it's written feels kind of dull almost. Like I know what they're going for, right? And I can see it. And I think like the way they were trying to write it, it would be good. But I don't like the way that they wrote it, you know? If everything funky. Do you think they have something going on? I haven't seen it myself personally, but you know, I'm willing to listen to your case on this one.
I want to be in the same photo as Miss Gilberta. That'd be super good.
Carly's getting her first Yuri awakening though. Damn.
Once we take the photo, you'll be super brave and get your injection. Okay?
I mean, that's what happens when you see Pretty Woman. Watch the 1.1 trailer? I did. I just don't think I understand. And I guess that's a skill issue then. Man.
Okay. Photo first, then we'll head back for the injection. So, Endman, can I ask you for a little favor?
Okay, ma'am. I do like the way that Gilberta is voice acted. I think they...
Look at the camera.
Aw, that's cute.
Say cheese. Cheese.
Let's get a nice photo of them. I can't move the camera at all, but that's fine, I guess. Ignore the fact that Carly's ear is clipping into Gilberta. Yeah, I don't want to save because I'm a little bit worried because last time I think Zenless tried to dox me. It showed the exact path to get into my folder and I was like, well, that's awkward. Gilberta and Funky have their floating hair that bothers me a bit. I think it makes sense for Gilberta though, because her thing is like zero gravity, no? Funky though, I don't remember. It's been a while since I've seen her.
Please teach me how to make the photos look pretty like this.
The way she leans forward like this is also very cute. Don't focus on the light balance, you gotta have steady hands. I don't know how I did it, I just pressed the button. I can't see like anyone's hair in this game. That's crazy.
If you want pretty photos, why not snap things you like?
I do really like the texturing, right? Maybe not like I don't know about the shape, right? But I think the texturing for all the hair is really nice. Enfield Kiki can't be this cute.
And I know you like orange juice, Dozy the plush, and visiting the Gramps and Grannies at the worker dorms.
Yeah, she is really cute.
Go around and look for things you like, Carly. Photography's our way of recording beautiful things into snapshots of precious memories.
Aww, she's so squishy looking, isn't she?
Beautiful things. I know what I want to take a photo of.
want to take a photo of you, Miss Gilberta.
I'm gonna get my injection, and I'll take photos of my friends being brave.
Honestly, that's kind of messed up. Could you imagine being like 4 years old and then your friend is like, while you're getting your shots, your friend's like, I want to take a photo of you while you're getting it injected.
You're just as brave as your friends, Carly.
It's crazy how much you resembles Angelina. For real, for real. I like this little triangle eyelash that she's got underneath her. I can't really explain it, but like, I like it visually. I do like Gilberta to take on a modern witch. That's true, actually. I didn't think about that.
Thank you, Miss Gilberta. And you too, Endman.
We're like 5 minutes into this quest, though, guys. I've been yapping too much. You mean reconvene and not feel all messed up about it?
Not really. No. What I meant was, I really like photos, but
I don't really know what her status as a reconvener means to her, though, you know? Like, we've only seen Leviathan, right? So I don't know what that means quite yet.
I was just thinking about what I said to Carly. I told her to find things she likes.
Her blush is so cute. Also, I keep staring at how much this hair piece goes into her face. My god.
But I'm in a heap of a mess myself. I can't even figure out what to write. And I never found the courage.
What do you need courage for, girly pop? What are you holding?
Oh, nothing. It's just a letter. Let's just talk about something else, Endman. Why don't we look around and see if anyone needs help?
Oh, okay. I thought we were gonna talk about you and your struggles in life. I'm lost in those eyes, good lord. They're so cute. Contrast to Leviathan's take on being a reconvener? Yeah.
We got a situation.
It kind of seems that way, doesn't it?
Remember our water purifier project?
Mr. Andre, you've already mentioned this before.
Yeah. Guess I was getting a little too desperate.
When the owl character laughs like, whoo.
Anyway, Supervisor Perlica just replied. She reviewed our asset register. It should be somewhere right outside the ether test site. Honestly, the place where it's registered seems rather odd.
Perlica, what did you do?
The crewmates of the power plateau should have retreated to the worker dorms already. Can I ask you to check the worker dorms and figure out what happened?
Oh, I guess we're here. Might as well.
What a coincidence. We're right in the worker dorms. We'll ask around right away.
Ask around.
Wonderful. Now the thing I need is the filter of that water purifier. I checked the asset register. An Enfield scientist named Rope is in charge of the purifier unit.
Rope? You don't think that...
He was
Surely
overseeing
not.
the project, but then he had an accident. The asset register indicates the item is lost. I'd like to get an update on the filter. Edmund, could you please visit Rope for me?
Okay.
Leave it to us.
Water filter project, I suppose. Oh. You're not purple. I guess.
Maisie.
It's rope with another P. Man. But it sounds the same, and therefore...
He seems to be in great pain. I hope there's something we can do for him.
She is so cute, though.
About a week. We rescued him just outside the ether test site.
Her hair was like 5 bajillion pounds. But it's okay, she's cute in it.
A few personal belongings, ID cards, gloves, and that sort of stuff. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Got it.
Min, maybe we should leave for a while.
Why? I'm not gonna lie, that's a little silly. Her ears are dancing. You didn't look very happy back there. That when you can see the eyeballs through the hair.
Yeah. I feel like I haven't really helped those who are suffering.
Gotta say the hospitals in the world suck. I mean, don't most hospitals suck? For a lot of reasons. Also, when she says this, I don't know, girly, I'm not really sure what you expected being a messenger instead of a medical doctor. Why?
Endman, if only I were stronger. Or faster. I could have arrived at the valley sooner.
Okay, sure. You did more than what's expected of you.
Okay, Endman. I've made up my mind. I'm gonna look for the filter.
Okay. Huh?
You gotta let me do something. I can't just sit around feeling bad and helpless all day. No. That still sounds sad and depressed. Alright. I'm doing this because I want to help everyone.
Go for it, girly. Well, alright. Let's go to the power pot, so. I guess we'll just walk it. That's fine. Whatever. Well, the guy didn't have the thing, so we'll find it ourselves.
Don't worry, I'm around.
Ah, it's the administrator. Miss Gilberta. Hold on, you're going in.
We're going in.
For one thing, the site is still quite dangerous. Our rescue teams can hardly carry out their work in there.
But I have to go in and find a piece of very important machinery.
If you insist. But do you really have to go in there?
I got this covered.
Yeah, well, since the admin said so. Fine, I'll grant you passage. But as part of our safety precautions, do not stay in there for more than 60 minutes, even if you fail to find your thing. Nothing personal.
I feel
Just
like
trying to keep you safe.
I feel like they're not introducing the premise very well. It's I don't know. I find myself a little bit confused. Thanks for the warning.
Endman, my analyzer can detect residual blight extracts in the filter. This will give us an approximate location of the device. Andre gave me the analyzer before I left for this search.
Because it's kind of unclear how the guy was injured, right? And why he was brought back without the filter thing. And it's also kind of unclear why they won't let us in.
The analyzer has identified several potential locations. I'm sending you the data.
And it's also, I think it's a little bit unclear. Like, at least to me, it wasn't really shown that Gilberta was really desperate to, like, help people before this, right? So her mood shift here was a little bit strange to me. Because it implies that we've seen her before where she was like, oh, I really need to help people, right? Like, it implies that she's shown us before that she's had this, like, deep-seated desire to be helpful. You'll find out. Oh, it's not, like, I understand they'll find out, right? I'm just saying, like, the pacing of it, again, is a little bit strange. It's like, from a meta perspective. It feels like it changed in tone very quickly and in a very sudden way. Her intro was cut? Yeah, okay, right. Yeah. It definitely, I think her story, like, her quest suffers a lot from that.
I think we should look around this place first. Use the scanner. We should find something.
That's a little bit disappointing, though. Alright, let us scan.
This entire place is now a ruin.
Oh!
So upsetting.
This place, I was thinking the floor. I was like, oh, surely we'll be able to go there in the future, right?
Careful.
You see these gacha game last minute story changes? For real. It's just a little bit upsetting, because I wish, how do I say, if there was more, we could understand her better. Why don't they plan this stuff better? I think it's more like, it's really bad. Because they've already planned out all these camera angles, right? Especially because of the way that Enfield does their stories. There's a lot of development that needs like load that goes into making the story. So I imagine they just didn't have time to go back. Right? Like maybe the Gilberta's intro was cut because it didn't fit the plot, like the pacing of the main plot, which is fine. But then they couldn't go back to this because they'd already done all the camera work and whatever, and that was a lot of effort. Right, and I think that's fair, but it sure feels bad. The filtration unit's design flaws worse than I feared. At least I alone was exposed to the contents. Already my mind feels like rusty clockwork. I must keep something from touching it. These battered lab tools will suffice. Just patch this breach.
What is this? Did someone leave this behind?
Your character development doesn't come from a story event? Okay. Where does it come from? If I might ask. Sorry, I'm just exploring a little bit. Okay. Is that from her profile and Angelina's? Oh, okay. Man, I do wish we saw more of it though, like in the story. I had a note hid in the bottle. The story was quite long, but yeah. I can no longer gauge my own deterioration. The bite steals time itself. What? Phantoms flicker at the edges of vision. Sometimes something. Sorry, I'm just looking at this because the letter spacing is still different. I rewrote the safe code. My mind raised by the held water. Wrote the safe code. Fail safe against forgetting. It's remember duty for remember him.
The name part has been blacked out.
Something this way. Ah, I see. You dig around and find a note hidden in a bottle. Why do people get all these bottles to hide their notes in? What was I meant to do? The filtration unit's flawed, but why? The reason slips my fingers. These pages speak of experiments someone named blank. The schematics seem corrected now, then what remains?
Whoever left this here seems like a lost soul.
The vibe shift is so kind of intense. The ether and its impact.
The rift really affected the environment. Look at the floating rocks. No one knows when they'll start falling back to the ground. The UWST can only seal this place off for now.
Okay, so we're putting it in time now. I felt like okay, I get it now. So this event is something that happened as a result of the rift that opened up. And this filtration system is a project that was started like maybe before that. And then they're testing it here. I see. I wonder when the place will recover.
We can only pray that time can heal these wounds.
Or perhaps, you know, the guys who are literally working on that.
Oh, Endman. The blight seems to get worse the deeper we go. There might be enemies active nearby. We'd better be careful.
I really like this voice actress though. I think she does a good job. Go to the next location. What, here?
It's getting pretty late.
Oh, okay. I guess, okay. Cute. Okay, girly pop,
Here's
whatever.
a spark of arts to save the day. Messengers always deliver.
Oh, that's nice.
Incredible, right? Nothing can stop a mess. Look out, over there.
Aw, she's so cute. I'm so mad I don't have her, actually.
You can't escape gravity. Yeah. You can't escape gravity.
I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of messed up that she has a, like an AoE grab on her skill. That seems very good. Like, perhaps a little bit too good.
You can't escape gravity.
You can't escape gravity is really cute. I cannot lie. Oh, you're alive? Okay, let's... Oh, I didn't realize she also heals, huh? Interesting.
More enemies might be hiding nearby. Endman, we gotta keep going.
The nod. Alright, so to get there.
I thought of a clever solution along the way. All right, Endman, close your eyes.
Close my eyes? Yeah. That's pretty for real, though.
No peeking. I'm giving you a surprise.
How does Unmin see, though? They pointed it out just now, but, like, do we actually see most of the time? Or do we just sense things with Originium? Oh.
You're feeling much lighter, right? Let's hop on, or they'll really catch up with us.
That's cute.
Endman, ever tried living in low gravity? Takes getting used to, right?
I didn't realize I made that jump. That's surprising to me. Do you think I can make it over here? Ah.
Hey, for a
They
courageous
wear meta glasses.
messenger, nothing's ever too heavy.
I don't know, dude. If Enman spoke at all here, I think it'd be a lot more interesting to see her.
Just imagine yourself as a kite and feel the
Or, like, it would
ephemeral
spark her to
link
say something more
between
interesting.
your body and the land. And that is the trick of flying.
Oh, wait, her double dash is really cute. But yeah, it is kind of slow. Ow, my face. Let's try it again.
Endman, over here. Is this a UWST safe? Perhaps the filter we're looking for is right inside.
Hurry up here, little buddy.
Wherever I look, I see nothing but these horrifying wounds. This land has been torn apart. People have lost their loved ones, their friends, and even their dreams. Their hearts, too, have been torn into pieces.
She is very pretty. The broom glide's
This
so good.
world has always been so delicate and fragile. It's like a fine, downy feather, and also like a polluted orb of glass.
It's just a shame that's really slow. Gilberta?
I'm alright, Endman. I was just thinking, if we fail to value what we have, those sweet moments might slip right through our fingers.
Micro sessions on other characters. The Endman's conversation animations are very lacking. They need to take the mask off. Yeah, I think when you go with the self-insert route with a lot of characters, you kind of lose out on the chemistry and stuff. Makes me very sad. Especially when you consider, like, a lot of, like, Ultimate games. I'm using Ultimate games as an example because I think those have some really interesting dynamics. The MC is often given a lot of personality for the other characters to bounce off of. And so, like, it does strike it as a little bit sad. And how she give you dark mask? You could wear, like, sunglasses. Right? Yeah.
Endman, I want to...
Awkward.
Oh no! These rocks are coming loose. Endman, The ether anomaly is shifting. This place is getting dangerous. We should leave quickly.
Okay. I'm just an Emin story. No self-lines right here with Lornard. I get that too. I get that too. I want a little bit of A, a little bit of B. You know, you want to be able to relate to the character. You don't necessarily need to insert yourself into the character though. All right, that's what I think. That's coming off at some point. That is also true because we know what their eyes look like, right?
Let's go.
I think I'm praised of the way the characters show their eyes in Method Engine cutscenes. Yeah. Having like subtle animations just to convey expressions, I think is always really helpful. Ben who doesn't benefit from that's
Over
ironic.
here.
A little bit.
I was looking all over the place for you. The manager told me you went into the place for a salvaging run. I was so worried.
What? It seems you actually found the thing. I didn't expect anyone to salvage anything from that place. You Enfielders make me more impressed with every passing day.
Dude, his shirt is so tight under there. Do you see that? That's ridiculous. Damn, but you can see the contour of his like chest, man. Oh, you flatter
Of
us.
course. Looking at the bright side of things, I really hope our partnership with Enfield continues well into the future. But on the other hand, it won't be long before you simply outpace the UWST and leave us in the dust.
The mask moment will be huge when it happens. You know what they say, when a character who doesn't show their eyes opens their eyes for the first time, it has to be a really dramatic moment, right?
The safe is locked.
Oh, it should be locked according to our SOP.
SOP?
The UWST allows its scientists to lock and protect key data in emergency situations. But I'm seeing plenty of scratch marks on the safe, so I believe it's been left behind for quite a while.
Okay, password.
The passwords are definitely safe with the crew in charge of protecting the assets.
It's not hard to outpace the UWST. True. I'm not gonna lie though, I don't know. What's the point of this locked safe plotline?
Oh, but I think Rope is still unconscious.
Ah, yeah. That kind of complicates things.
Standard operating procedure. Ah, thank you. They haven't used that acronym for that phrase yet, and I don't think it's common enough to be standard.
If we can't
So thank
get
you,
the
that helps.
password, we can try cracking the safe physically. But that might damage the instruments inside. Looking at the price
Or is there
of
just a chance to get
things,
Edmund to do the password again, or
UWST
like the
products are
puzzle?
known for quality. Our safes dominate the market of Talos 2 because they are utterly indestructible.
There's a market on Talos too. On the other hand,
Yeah. Well, this means we should get the password to open the safe properly. All right. Andre, my man.
it's super common.
I'll
Oh,
let you
okay.
hold on to our safe for now.
I guess it's not something I've heard for some particular then.
All right, my syndicate's friend. I'll keep it safe.
WCFs are quite form-fitting. That's what I'm saying.
Endman, why don't we head back to the medical bay? We might work something out.
Okay. I was kind of hoping for something else there, but anyway, I guess we'll just continue with this. La-di-da! Back to the medical bay. SR, search and rescue. I think I've seen search and rescue before though, because I feel like that's a little bit more common, at least in terms of like colloquial knowledge. But also, yeah, I don't think they should use acronyms so often. All the ladies can't escape the sealed vacuum sealed bodysuit with the visible belly button. Yeah, yeah. It's kind of funny, I will say, the concept of that, but also, yeah. Sitreps situation report. Have they used that one? You think the eyes are significant in the lore, considering the eyes we saw during the young cutscene before Wuling? I don't think I remember what you're talking about.
I think he's trying to say something.
Skill issue? I mean, it is a skill
Maybe we
issue.
should get closer to hear him better.
But like, you know how in like research papers, if you're gonna use an acronym, you always like explain the acronym before you use it.
Maisie. Is he saying Maisie?
Remember to wear protective equipment, it says here. The mask and gloves. Guess what he's not wearing? No mask, no gloves. AAR, aid and relief. Oh, I haven't heard of that one either.
He's been unconscious for a few days, but he never stopped mumbling his word. We're thinking that Macy might be a person's name.
Literacy levels of game's writing team is way above that of the player base for the most part. I don't think that's true. In the sense that, like, knowing an acronym doesn't represent your literacy. It just represents what kind of fields you're into, or you know, right? You should know someone outside is maybe pet name as well. Is that someone outside?
Of course. We're also handing out supplies today.
People from only requires you to explain acronyms once.
Nearby.
That's true. I'm just saying that they don't explain it at all. That's all I'm saying. You guys all the English words that they use acronyms? It might be that, yeah. It depends on the CN translation. If they use acronyms and like they just directly ported that over, that might be that's fair, I suppose, right? And like culturally, maybe they use acronyms more. I don't know. Or you play a lot of video games.
Endman, let's go try our luck and see if we can find someone who knows rope.
But yeah, no, actually, I feel like the way that they explain things in this game, sometimes it's really over-explained and sometimes it's really under-explained. It's like a little bit of both, and it's really strange.
Maisie? Is that Uncle Rope's good friend?
Okay, well, clearly the child doesn't know anything. Greek too, which many people have not been educated on anymore. Isn't that just mostly for keywords though, right? Like things that they port over from, like for like their own terminology, like Angloy. Like I feel like that's a different story, and I wouldn't say that's like. Again, I think it's just like borrowing from, history or like mythology or whatever. These acronyms in CN? Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I just directly port them over.
Maisie? No idea. I'm a little busy right now.
They got
Why don't
skis
you ask
here.
around over there?
Snowboard vendor? Wait a minute. But there's no snow around here, is there? Is there? Hello, middle-aged lady.
I don't remember seeing someone named Maisie. Maybe it's a pet's name? But Rope never kept pets either. He was assigned to Valley 4 last year, and we don't know him very well.
Angloy isn't made up as a real word?
Really
Isn't
keeps to
it
himself.
a Greek word though? That's my point I was making.
Oh, he seems pretty close to a girl who works outside, though. That's the only time we ever saw him running around outside. Usually, Rope locks himself inside his workshop. But she seemed to leave the valley after a while. Perhaps she's the Maisie you're looking for.
Okay.
And then he got hit by the disaster.
Awkward.
Fate really has a way of dealing her cards.
Some acronyms aren't easy to see immediately, but I see some people not knowing what USWST means. I think that depends on if you're like paying attention to the environment. Sorry, hold on, let me double read. Posted girl who works outside. Okay.
I can't help you much, but we've got a pile of books and documents salvaged from the underground lab. Rope is a hard-working egghead. Go through his stuff. You might find something.
But yeah, no, I think something like UWST is easy to understand because it's in the environment. Isn't the real word Angloy, not Agaloy? I'll be honest, I don't know about that though. Type of water filter, how it works. Disclose the device using water filtration system, blade filter membrane, yada yada. Stabilized current, hermetic filter membrane. Have the systems the prior art have the following issue. But most remain in space and stabilize carbon and this fine. Cause disruption to water flow, yeah. That doesn't help though.
Rope Maisie in the appendix of this document.
No, he didn't. I read that document. It did not say Maisie anywhere in there. What the hell? He was trying to gaslight me. Pronunciation spelling conflicts because of Greek? Okay, that would make sense.
as a girl? I've never seen Rope talking or hanging out with anyone. Wait.
Crazy.
Since you're helping out Rope, I happen to have his comm device right here. See if you can use it.
Comm device? That's actually a very personal belonging.
Hey, I'm not some weird old man. I was part of the Syndicate's security. Everyone who enters the factory area has to deposit their comm devices at the gatehouse. Gotta protect our secrets, you know. And it's
According to a
an
Greek
easy
YouTuber
job
who watched the
for
Lois
same
just
retired
lie.
like me.
Does like Angelai? I guess that makes sense. But no one's happy. That's really funny though. Imagine getting half of it right, but the other half wrong.
Rope dropped this comm device in the wilderness and someone picked it up. The young lad didn't want to take it back and told me I could keep it. Try your luck over there.
He mazes it
That pile
up.
has plenty
Wait,
of
I'd
lost
believe it.
items and comm devices that people have yet to claim.
Points for effort, yeah?
Alrighty. Let's see if we can find any useful information.
Ask around for clues. Hey, iPad. What's your clue? We submit patent application. You guys won't be seeing her for a while again. Readings don't look right. Left the lab really late. I wonder. I begin to doubt if the beautiful life will ever come true for me. When I passed her familiar, she was still there waiting for me. She stood in the distance beneath a light smile as she gazed at me. As the project leader, I'll tell her everything they said. She said she'll wait for me. I heard. Maisie is the reason why they chose me. She was like that she's the one who got sent away.
We actually found out
Awkward.
quite a bit.
She doesn't want him.
Endman, found any leads?
Probably the name of this patent. Yeah.
Well, no matter how we look at this, Maisie definitely means something important to him. In any case, we should try opening the safe.
I appreciate writing it isn't dumbed down. Me too. I mean, I think it kind of depends, right? Like, I think there's points where the writing should be made very explicit and very clear, right? And I think there's points where like you should keep things vague, right? And let the reader learn for them, like, you know, figure it out themselves. But I do have issues with Enfield's writing, like in that regard.
I suddenly remember Rope being a well-known workaholic.
I suddenly remember. Okay, buddy.
Try using Maisie. That's the name of his patent application.
No, not working.
Damn, we suck. Adding his name, Rope.
Woohoo! It worked!
Why?
Naming a patent after a close friend or lover isn't unusual. The UWST is known for respecting the personal choices of every crew member.
Is that so?
Great pass with rolling eyes. I think it's strange a little bit.
I'm still thinking about the diary entries. But hey, at least the safe is finally open. Oh, there's something else besides the filter in the safe. It's a letter.
This look on her is really cute.
Maisie is the recipient's name. I think it has something to do with Rope. I'll deliver it to him once he comes around.
I sadly feel like it was kind of dumbed down, especially with the idea of Gilberta cost to high-handed or empathy in general. Yeah, I mean, I think for me, the feeling of like dumbed downness comes primarily from like within the quest, like this point in the quest, I guess, of all the quests. How do I say? There's a point where in all the quests where they kind of give you a breakdown of exactly what's happening, and I think we're about to come up with it soon.
Endman and Gilberta, you're really here.
Very much of a you know, they're telling and not showing kind of vibe.
Rob just came out of his coma. I heard that you're
There we go,
revived,
guys.
so I came rushing here to tell you the good news.
Really? Then let's head to the medical bay right now.
But also this, like, I don't know, it's like, what does this have to do with Gilberta? Alright, I guess I'll find out. But I came here for a cute girl, and now we're helping a guy in a coma. We don't even know why we know Gilberta to begin with, man. Why are we so close to her? She's friendly with everyone, but what about me? How did she meet me? Hey, Espresso, it's nice to see you again.
Those traces. She was the one who left them. I thought she was caught up in something dangerous. Left Valley 4 a long time ago.
Our gravity uses it to deliver mail. Yeah, but I don't know.
Mr. Rope, is Maisie the name of a loved one?
No. Maisie's not from the valley. But she showed up one day with an
You are the
incomplete
Edmund.
machine.
That is true.
It's a filter device containing blighted materials. She called it Maisie. Everyone thought it was a funny name, but I got really interested in the machine. The device was built on ideas that matched mine. And that was the most important period of my life. It was the first time I met someone who agreed with my approach. We would spend all day studying together.
You know what? This would be a really perfect time for us to like reach out and touch hands. Like, you know, when you're standing next to someone, right? Like especially if you're walking side to someone, if you're close enough, sometimes your fingertips will accidentally brush, and like you feel like this like maybe sometimes it's like awkward, like, oh, you didn't mean it like that, right? But sometimes it's like, oh, wait a minute, you know, there's some chemistry there actually, right? All right, and then like, you brush your fingers together, and then like if you're really feeling bold about it, you could like grab hands. I feel like that's the position they're in right now. Anyway, just gonna cut that, not thrilled about it. Yeah, it is really upsetting because like I think what'd be really interesting about Gilberta is how her philosophy on delivering messages affects like her desire to help people, right? I guess we're kind of getting that now, but I don't know, it doesn't feel the same. What do you think about 1.1? I'll be honest, I'm a little bit disappointed with what I've seen with 1.1. It doesn't look like we're answering any of the major questions that were posed in Wooly, right? We're solving Tong Tong's issues with her faction, it seems, which is kind of nice, and that is something that I was curious about. But it doesn't really seem like we're gonna go beyond that too much for 1.1, which is a little sad for me. Also, that Rosie's thing is mostly in her side story, in her narrative event. I would like to see more of a central focal point. But that's okay too, I suppose. You know, that's okay. It depends on how good it is, right?
We spent all our waking hours on the project. I didn't even ask her name.
The guy in the hospital is really trying to hold hands. Remind him of what lost love truly is.
So, why?
We were almost done with the filter, but she suddenly took Maisie with her and left without saying goodbye. My colleagues told me that she only cared about making the device work and getting it patented.
Shocked face. Shocked Pikachu face.
I don't believe it. I refuse to think she left for that. Something else must have happened. I wrote plenty of letters and left them where we used to research and work on the project, but I never received any reply.
Maisie was real. I kind of got that. Like, that's kind of the sense I got from reading the letter, but it didn't. I don't know. Something about it didn't quite mesh. I don't know. It tries to get a lot of characters a lot of depth, which you can't see in the story, sadly. Which is strange. I feel like it should be the other way around. I feel like profile should give you context for why they are the way they are, but the story should give you an understanding, you know?
The letter. Is this what you're talking about? We found it in the safe.
This is it. I put down Maisie as the recipient's name because I don't know what her actual name is.
This guy, bro.
But this means she's... But this also means that she saw my letter. So why did...
Oh my god. He was down bad for Neferith.
The place where we found the safe has been really torn up. We saw huge slabs of rock floating in the sky because of the ether.
I won't give up. If she did receive the letter, it would mean that... I'm just really worried about her. I'm going to find her. I got to know why she left without telling me. Thank you for bringing the letter to me.
Endman, I just remembered something. I need to verify it.
Her cute little face. So in the valley, great. What if I'm wearing? Can you care for a glass of clean water? Okay. End chat.
Wonder where Gilberta went. I guess I'll just look around the place.
Okay. Hello, crying child. Do you know where Gilberta went? I guess not. What was I saying? There's something in my brain just now. A wiggly worm of a thought, but I can't find it anymore. Oh, I was kind of hoping that, like, delivering the message, we'd get to see more of Gilberta's thoughts about delivering letters and how it's, like, cathartic, but... Now it feels weird because she's gone. What the heck, bro?
We got the water contamination issue all figured out. Today's a lovely day.
Lovely
The
day.
reconstruction of Valley 4 has made significant progress. ENDFIELD has proved itself to be a most indispensable friend.
So true, buddy. We can't have done with that US still. I mean, we probably could have done with that WST here, but anyway.
Administrator, without the filtering device you and the lady messenger found, we would be days behind schedule. Huh. Where did Miss Gilberta go? I was hoping to thank her in person.
Endman, I think
She thinks she's found something.
I found something. It's near the place where we found the safe.
It's a dead body. Is this close? Girly pop? Girly? I think we gotta have a talk about what close means. Rob's voice is very good, but the other guy's voice is not. I actually didn't like Rob's voice very much. I felt like he kind of delivered some of the lines really flatly. Like using using quietness as a substitute for emotionness or like emotionality, right? I think the other guy is like, I mean, it's just kind of brash, but like it's not like bad overtly, you know? Anyway. Can you guys tell I don't really come here? Is this thing in the ground that I haven't done? The Orlean I didn't get earlier? Where are we? Hi, Gibby. Gibby Point. Nice view, though.
Endman.
What'd you find? That's not a body. What'd you find?
Remember when we came here and found the safe? I noticed a few things scattered nearby. So, I decided to come back and see if I could find anything else.
One thing I really like about her modeling, I mean, one of many things I like about her visual modeling, I think her lips are really cute. They look very, like, juicy and plump, you know? Very, like, I can't say anymore. I think it'd be kind of lewd.
And then I found this.
ENDFIELD Industries instructions.
It's the final diary entry. Written by the owner of the filter device.
Gasp. This diary entry is from...
Yeah. The diary we picked up was from the same person. She's the fellow researcher that Roke talked about.
She read the whole thing before me, dude. What's this thing about being partners? Weren't we supposed to be partners on this and we were supposed to do things together? She just left and just read the whole thing.
She wrote it to say her goodbyes. Contact with blighted materials affected her mind. She knew early on that she was gradually losing her memories.
Okay.
She found the problem with the filter and became the first to be affected by it.
Because she didn't want
She didn't want him to be part of the mistake. And she chose to tackle the final issue on her own.
Not so much YouTubers about somewhat. Whoa. I think she's got plumper lips than me.
She carried the letter, made herself part of the safe's password, and wrote all those diary entries to help her remember. She suffered helplessness and loneliness on her own. She also didn't want to forget the one she held close to her heart.
I mean, Edmund's lips too are also very soft looking, you know?
Perhaps one can eventually find their story by reading letters about the past. That's how the tales go. But in the end, she chose to leave instead of seeking her past. I've never felt memory loss before, but the thought of it scares me at times. What did she feel or think about when she saw recordings of a past that seems foreign, yet actually belongs to her?
Is this all we're gonna get about the reconveners?
I'm afraid of the feeling called oblivion. When I see memories flying
there you
past
are.
me that feel familiar yet foreign at the same time, I cannot help but wonder if I've actually lost something. Whenever those memories well up within me, I feel as though I'm kept away by a dark, misty veil.
Like this part of the class? Yeah.
Endman, can you tell me how it feels
Rhombus pupils, yeah.
to lose your memories?
That's not her pupil, that's an rhombus, but yeah, I know what you mean.
It feels cold and unfamiliar.
Is that so?
But it's nothing to fear. Because I have you with me, Gilberta. And everyone as well.
Do those memories frighten you?
No. They never have. I like those memories. It may not be mine, but thinking about them makes me feel warm inside, like the sun itself. So, I really do like those memories. Not only that, I'm totally in love with the memories that I made on my own.
I do really like the way she delivers lines like that.
Memories I made while traveling. The secrets I saw on
Pretty.
my solo flights across the night skies. And those special moments I shared with you, Endman.
If only you knew those moments were, bro!
I don't care which memories they are. I don't want to lose any of them. Ever. These are real, authentic memories that I made with the people I've met.
I'll also treasure these memories.
Thank
waving.
you, Endman. I don't feel confused anymore. I'll treat these memories like precious gifts. No matter where they came from, all of them are now mine to treasure. Sometimes, I feel everything in this world is just so ephemeral and delicate. Like bubbles of water. All it takes is a simple slip to lose those beautiful moments.
Man, I mean, They really, how do I say? They really spent a lot of time making these scenes look really pretty. Like, dang, look at her. Look at, like, we can take a photo right now. let's take a photo right now.
But that is also
Why is you?
I'll do
Yushin
my
Guang from
best
Zenless
to
Zero?
keep these important memories safe. People might not remember the faces of us messengers, but I'll do all that I can to remember every smile I see.
Nod.
Endman, do you still remember this?
That letter.
Now I know who to send this letter to.
Yourself. Oh. The dramatic music's really funny to me. I'm sorry.
It's just a letter. Why, Endman? But it's something you treasure, right?
Cute smile. That's cute. Oh. Shadow. It's really cute. This is what I wanted from the start, guys. This is what I wanted.
So, Endman, if I failed to catch you, would you still be alright?
And now we're just playing. Okay, insert song. Well, thankfully you did.
I knew it. But I'm really happy you spent all this time talking with me.
And Miz literally barely even smiling. What the hell, girl? Show some respect.
Thanks a lot, Endman. You swept all my troubles away.
This is such a good ending scene. The ending scene for this is really good. It's just like everything from the start to the middle is such a mess. That's really upsetting, actually.
This is your... Well, it's yours now, Endman.
Okay, I guess she would send a letter to
Although
me.
I couldn't figure out what to write, I've decided to give the letter to you.
Okay. Sorry, I don't want to laugh, but actually could you imagine the concept of a girl that you're into? Like, she sends a letter to you, but it's completely blank because she didn't know what to write. She just gives you a sheet of paper, and you're just like, they're like, oh, thanks. And not like, okay, from a perspective of like, how do you say, like narrative? It's like, oh, because you get to help her write her story, but it's also like, man, dude, man, no, for real though.
I carried this blank letter with me when I first arrived in Talus 2. I kept thinking about what it was. Why did it appear with me? What should I write on it? Who should I send it to?
Like for 2 weeks, I will share his memories forever. To be fair though, I feel like 2 weeks of memories can be really impactful, right? But also, Enfield and Talus 2 for blank sheet of paper don't even be waited into going after. She's so funny, actually. If it was intentional, it actually makes me like her character about 3 times more.
I once thought the letter probably wanted me to write something very important on it. And send it to someone very important as well.
I mean, Lauder happened.
And yes, there are so many stories, so many troubles, and so many feelings that I want to share with you, Endman. haven't figured out what exactly to write.
That's cute. Although, sorry, airplane noises. I'll talk about more later.
Can I still keep it?
Of course. I was hoping you'd take it.
Imagine Edward is like, you want it back? And then Gibby has to be like, oh, well, actually, well, I kind of was hoping you'd not do that.
Perhaps a day will come when I sort out my feelings and know what to write. When that happens, I'll ask you for it and return a proper letter to you. And that will be a letter from Gilberta the messenger herself.
I do like this final scene though. It's really cute and really pretty. That's how the end of the circus come 100 times. Also, girl jumped off a cliff. That's really funny. Think about.
Don't you forget about me, Endman.
Why'd you say that? Now, you know what's gonna happen.
Did forget. I'd just show up right in front of you. Then I'd say, I'm Messenger Gilberta. This is the first time we've met. And then we'd get to know each other. Once again.
Man, this one hits so hard. If that's how she greeted us. If we saw her in the plot and she said that, I'm Messenger Gilberta, this is the first time we've met, and then we got this scene again, that would hit like 4 times harder. But you know what? That didn't happen. And therefore, this is like... I feel like there's so much potential waste, actually. Because the main plot was bad, now Gilberta's story suffers as a result. What the hell? I'm actually kind of mad about that. Anyway, that was cute. I really liked the ending. I think was really strong, and like you can see like ghosts of where it would have been like almost S tier. Oh, okay, S tier is a bit high. We'll say you could see the shadows of where it could have been like a 7.5 out of an 8, or out of 10, right? But it wasn't, right? And that is actually really frustrating and really annoying. Checks out Warfare and Chin's mom. Oh shoot, actually.
I hate fools.
Can I check out her voice lines? I don't have her. How would I do this? Operators? I guess only should, yeah.
You finally remember something?
I can't do that. So what do we do now? And then should be fetching the doctor, and how does she resolve that? I think having memories of the past doesn't necessarily mean that they are what you still believe, you know? Right for gore, screaming, crying, throwing up. That's not what I'm talking about that. We spent the last hour and a half working on that. Let's talk about it. Do you like this one or lava cake better? Want to spoil it? Sure, go for it. And meanwhile, I'll think about some more of my thoughts. I think in terms of like the premise and the execution, Levitan's like better by multiple times, right? I think because of how much was cut essentially from Gilberta's story. How do I say it? Like execution could be way better, but like the premise for Levitan's I think is stronger as is like developed in the game, right? Gilberta's premise isn't as strong because these themes of like seeing each other again and like having lost memories and all that, we don't see any of that prior to this, so it just kind of feels like themes that just appear out of nowhere. And for that it's really weak, right? Even though the potential is higher, I guess, if that makes sense. As for how Gilberta feels about Angelina's memories, I don't feel like having the memory of loving someone means that you still love them. Does that make sense? I don't know if you guys have any lost loves or anything like that, right? I don't really feel like I think most of us live relatively uninteresting lives in that respect. But like, you can have the memory of loving someone without still loving them. You know what I mean? And I think that's one thing that Gilberta's story does pretty well, in the sense that it's like the memories you cherish are kind of your lifeline to like the world, I guess, right? And it's through memories that you live on, I guess, in a way. Right? That's kind of the point. Sorry, I kind of don't know your like in that regard. My bad. I kind of just yap a lot. And yeah, so I think what am I thinking? Oh wait, let's read this first. When Gibby reconvened, Warfarin had a mental breakdown because of how much Gibby looked like Angelina in days past. Whenever Warfarin interacted with Gibby, she confused the two quite often. Aww. Wait, I need Warfarin in this game right now. Warfarin, I feel like, because, like, frankly, most sarcasms, because they have long lifespans and they have been around for so long, I feel like there's a lot more tragedy potential there. And, you know, hopefully we'll get them in the future. Members, but no feeling attached to it. Yeah. I mean, the feeling is just like the feeling that's attached to it is like, you know, just like feelings of warmth, right? And I think that's really good. It's like living, it's like having memories of your childhood, even though you don't like actually remember your childhood, right? Like that. The story either tells you anything and the thing is resolved, no questions answered. There's just kind of a vague feeling, but actually tell a story. I think that's a very fair assessment, actually. That makes a lot. That's very apt, I would argue. But like, I think even then, the feeling isn't really conveyed, right? Because there's so much that's left out, almost. Even the feeling doesn't really feel like there. It'd be cool to be Warfarin. I want Warfarin, dude. If I don't get Warfarin, I'm gonna riot. But she's the one they should be the same person before, yeah. She can't see Angie's shadows because she behaves exactly like Angie. Yeah, I can imagine that being kind of difficult as well. What else was I thinking? I have a little bit of a worry. Oh, my backpack's full. Whatever. One I think I've kind of like felt, I guess, this has been a little bit of a pattern where I feel like the characterization's a little bit all over the place. And like what I mean by that is like Gilberta's thing is being a messenger, right? She delivers, it's kind of implied, is that not stated, that she delivers messages because she wants people to be happy, right? And she thinks that delivering messages will bring that joy to people. And you'd think that'd be like a very major thing. Like, I don't remember if it is for Angelina as well. I don't remember very much about her very much at the moment. But for Gilberta at least, delivering messages is like, you know, it brings her joy and she feels like she's helping people and that's why she does it and that's why she likes it, right? And so the thing about like writing letters, being the one that's writing letters for herself, it feels like it feels underexplored, right? Why does she want to write letters if the main reason she does her life, right, is because she wants to send letters, like to help other people communicate their ideas, right? Why does she want to communicate her own ideas this time? Right, I feel like that's a little bit underexplored. It's interesting, Gibby's personality is quite similar because Lava Cake is different. That is also true, yeah. She wants to do a certain, wants to be her own person. That is also, yeah. And I think like these two opposite attitudes towards being a reconvener are interesting, right? I just like, they don't go into much more depth about it. Can't see their own personality behaves almost the same as before. a little bit. But like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like the thing about them wanting to like whether or not they're following their legacy or choosing to follow their legacy, like we'll say legacy, right? I don't know. Just like they're we see their decision about it. We just don't really see how it plays out almost. I don't know. Really, they go for dark and storytelling. I'm kind of done with happy going lucky days with waifus. That's fair. I think you can have both though. I think you can have dark and like deeper narratives and you know, cute dates at the same time. Right? I think you don't have to compromise, right? The fact that we are, I think, is a little bit weak, storytelling wise. Like inspiration by Evergarden. Yeah, I can see that actually. That's not something I thought about when when we played through it, but I can see that. Oh, we're stuck. But yeah, no, now that you mention it like that, that does make a lot of sense. But I'll be honest, if that is the case, I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of a really disappointing retelling of Violet Evergarden, or like a disappointing like take on Violet Evergarden. I really liked Violet Evergarden, so like that's a little bit of a. Oh, it just kicks you out after a point. Okay, fascinating. I thought I had to like reset or something. Anyway. So I was a little bit disappointed by that card. Humor can stay though. I think they could do better. I think they can do better. I think that in general, like the storytelling has been pretty weak for ENDFIELD so far. So I'm hoping that in a couple of months they'll have fixed that. Felt depressed to never new leaf and try to use her newfound powers to help people. Yeah, okay, I see. But did she do that? Did she do messaging work because she felt like delivering messages was like the best way to help, right? How was that the best way to help, right? And stuff like that. Anyway, I don't know about Angelina because it's been a bit, right? And I don't remember reading a whole lot of her story. But I feel like we could have gotten more detail here. Is the vibe. One other thing I was thinking that's a little interesting to me. It's a little bit more than a little bit. I guess I had to go watch Violet Evergarden. I think Violet Evergarden is a really good narrative on like discovering humanity, discovering your own humanity by empathizing with other people, right? I think Violet Evergarden in particular is a good story about that aspect of humanness. In a way that I feel like Gilberta's story kind of lacks, right? In another way, but on the other side of the story, the page, there's kind of a recurring theme of like memory loss, right? And like, who are you? Yeah. Like, how do I say? It's like who are you if you don't have your memory, essentially, right? Like kind of. That's kind of the theme. The fact that you can't really like place a finger on exactly what it is, I think is a little bit. It's either problematic for me or problematic for the story, and I'm not really sure yet. Because we just finished it. I need some more time to think on it. Did I not do this one? Yeah. Oh no, that's just part of the. Okay, sorry. Sorry, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the thing about memories. So one of my favorite mediums that deals with the concept of memory as a medium for preserving information is Genshin Impact, right? In Genshin Impact, there's a bit of a there's a theme where you exist in the world because of other people's memories of you, right? Like the memories of the world is what ties you and your existence to the world, right? And I think that's a really interesting theme of Genshin Impact. And I think they're going for something kind of similar with the Reconveners, right? With how, like, the memories, like, for Gilberta, right? She cherishes the memories of Angelina because, like, they, on one hand, they're, like, happy memories, right? They make her feel joy. But on the other hand, it's like, it verifies Angelina's existence in the world, right? And then I don't have like a very good way to say this right now, but like something about how Originium confers information, and then how like reconveners are made from that information of the memory of a person, and then that memory of a person essentially like growing beyond the stipulations of the original, right? Something like that. I think there's something interesting to be explored there, right? And for Levitin, it's like how she wants to escape, I guess, the bounds of her memory, right? But also her memory is what verifies her past, almost. I don't know, something like that, something like that, something like that. I think it's something interesting about there, and I think if they go a similar route with the way that Genshin Impact did, with memories being like the verification of, you know, your existence, that'd be really cool and interesting, I think. Yeah. What else happened in there that was interesting to me? I guess that's pretty much it, right? I think yeah, in general, I was kind of disappointed by how much it seems that story is dependent on like a part of the main quest, right? I would have how do I say? There's so much of it that kind of insinuates that you've known Gilberta before, right? And we're kind of robbed of her first meeting with us. And I feel like that's kind of a shame. Right? And that's kind of why Levitans was kind of interesting, because her story paralleled that of the Endmins. And because her story paralleled that of the Endmins, we get to learn like, not only do we get to learn more about Levitan, we also get to learn more about the Endmin and both of their feelings on like memory loss. Also, I think, okay, actually I do have one more complaint about Gilberta's story. And it's like, Gilberta expresses her fears about losing her memory and losing like all that she cherishes, right? Like for Gilberta, the memories that she's made and the memories that she has represent like her reason to want to make people happy, I guess, is how I'd say it. And then so I think Edmund saying like, I mean, maybe this is me, right? I think Edmund saying like, oh, you don't need to worry about losing your memories. I feel like it's almost callous in a way. Like on one hand, you can say like, yeah, Gilbert has also got people who will support her and make new memories with her. But on the other hand, it's like, for her, they represent why she wants to like her will to live, essentially, right?
We getting buggers.
And so I didn't really like that. I thought that was kind of silly. Also, like, okay, this is a really minor one. This one's a really minor complaint. But as a Star Rail hater, right? There's this one line Gilberta had about like, you know, memories or like life is as ephemeral as like a feather, right? But it's also like an inky black orb or whatever. I saw that line and I kind of cringed on the inside. Not because the writing is bad, but I don't really like when these kinds of metaphors are brought out of thin air, right? I think if you're using a metaphor in writing, it should be representative of the thing you're writing about, right? You should use a metaphor that fits the context. And in that context, I didn't really feel like birds or orbs were really brought up before, and I felt like it kind of gave me Star Rail vibes in that sense of I'll call them like a meaningless metaphor almost. Not that it is meaningless, but I didn't like it. That's my vibe. Robin Maze's God. I think the point of going out to just get it because of a bogus password. That's my biggest complaint of the story. Oh yeah, I think the plot device that they used was also kind of poor. What you said about like rope and maze. Yeah. I think it's a relatively poor plot device, but like, you know, gotta use a bad plot device to progress the story, I guess. They could have thought something more creative though, I think. How is maze a metaphor of anything? Yeah, I think that's also that was also kind of like strange, right? Because I feel like the story was pretty ripe for narrative, like you know, like creativity, right? Like if they had the characters represent Gilberta in some way, right? I didn't really feel like Rope being in his coma and like thinking about a lost love necessarily represents Gilberta in any meaningful way, right? Gilberta is not the one who's lost her memories. Gilberta is not the one who is like missing something that she doesn't have, right? Her thing is that she's worried and she's scared of forgetting, right? And like for Rope is like he never knew her, like the researcher that he worked with. In a sense, anyway, like, I felt like a little bit of a incongruent metaphor that they could have used. They could have gone a bit more on the nose about it. Being reconfigured is like reincarnation of some religion. They want another way to pull away from religion and try to make it some made of sci-fi techno babble. I don't want to like discredit it that much right now, because I think there's a lot of potential there, right? For unique storytelling. But I think the way that they're going about it right now, we don't even, how do I say, like, we don't really know the philosophical impacts of it, and we're only briefly introduced to what those could be, right? And that's why I think why some of the stories are kind of weak. It's also bothering me Battlefield by this early in the game, so I'll play more about it, so I'll give it a pass on for now. Yeah. I get it. But I think the issue I have is like we're not being shown how people are struggling in this world, right? We're shown that they are struggling, apparently, right? Like, apparently the refugees that we saved are struggling in their day-to-day, supposedly, right? And apparently your factory's helping with that. It's a bit unclear, right? But the biggest sign we're shown of the struggle is like a girl's unable to get her meds on time, right? And that sucks. But it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't feel like a very, it doesn't feel very, 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 very big or important the way that they presented it to us, right? Even in Wooing, you have like the blight tide and like, oh, it's encroaching on the city, right? But like somehow it's like they avoided showing us how the blight affects people in a real way, right? And that's a little bit strange, right? Here, the reconveners, it's almost like we're being told how it affects their identity struggles, but like their identity struggles don't seem as real because there's no consequence almost, right? I don't know, like there's definitely a lot of like narrative irony out there that they need to do. I'm sure they have competent writers on their team, right? Like they worked on Arknights after all, the original Arknights, and they're capable of writing a compelling story. I haven't felt that in Enfield, like pretty much at all, right? I think Wolfguard's was probably the closest we got, but then there was like some really strange pacing issues I felt with that Wolfguard story. That kind of like broke apart from the narrative impact, right? Listening to big gacha games in 1.0, but since the hypergrip, I judge them more harshly. Yeah, I think for like, again, like 1.0 tends to be kind of messy in general, and like I don't really blame them for that, but I usually expect that 1.0 introduces big ideas, right? And that's what I feel like ENDFIELD's really lacking on. Over the eyes where they told that dialogue, not appreciating animation, they can't show blood or gore. I don't think showing blood or gore is necessarily the answer, to be fair. Like I think you can show struggle without needing to resort to like physically like blasting someone's head apart on screen, right? But I think what Enfield really lacks on compared to some other gacha games is like big ideas, right? I want to like I don't really want to like use Hoyo as like a benchmark here, but I will because I'm the most familiar with those games. But like in Star Rail and Genshin, we're kind of introduced from the beginning to the idea that like of the gods, right, and how the gods impact the people, right? And that's where the intrigue of those games comes from. This kind of interplay between religion and society, although in like different ways. Star Rail is much more about like how like the gods, like how following an ideal, I guess, of a god affects people, whereas Genshin is about like how society revolves around gods and how that happens. I can't really explain it in that. I don't know. I feel like that's not very accurate. But anyway, you have like those big ideas, right? You have like I'm trying to think about Zenless because I think Zenless is kind of weak on this too. I think Zenless is also kind of weak on this like big ideas thing. What other games have I thought about? I think like even Infinity Nikki, right? You're introduced to the idea that like the clothing that you wear essentially like grants people power, right? And how a lot of like harms of the world are resulted from like misuse of that power, I guess, right? Enfield, I feel like their big ideas are told through such straightforward storytelling, almost, and like such black and white lenses that it doesn't feel like they have big ideas, right? And I think that's kind of the problem here. Yeah. Anyway, I am kind of just saying words, right? I haven't like properly thought about my opinions, so I can't really like if it's inaccurate, it might be inaccurate, right? But yeah, so that's a little bit disappointing, right? I hope they get their act together and produce something more compelling later on, especially soon, right? I really want to see them do good things with some of the really interesting characters, right? Like the antagonists, right? The antagonists seem to be really interesting people, right? The reconveners seem to be very interesting people. So I agree with most of what you said. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of yapping. I'm kind of yapping. Like I haven't like evidenced my statements. I'm just going off vibes, right? But yeah. Hopefully they get to explore more ideas though. Like I want to see more big picture stuff in Enfield. Like the factory's fun, exploration's fun, maps are fun. I just don't think they'll sustain this game in the long term, right? I don't think that alone is enough. Anyway. A lot of complaining. I'm sorry for being so critical though. I do really want to enjoy Enfield, and I feel like sometimes being critical kind of can affect other people's perceptions of it, and I understand like that can, like, sometimes people don't want that, right? Sometimes you want to, like, sometimes you saw a story that was like, oh shoot, you know, a hot girl, right? I love the way that she did that thing, and then somebody disagrees with you and you kind of like feel bad about it. I don't want you guys to feel bad about it if you did enjoy any of the story. If you guys do enjoy XYZ, maybe that I complained about a little bit, right? I think I have a, like, you know, everyone has different lens with which they view the world and stories and stuff like that. So, you know, nothing about Neferth and Ardeshir, they're holding a lot to their chest. Exactly. That's why I hope that they you know, have really interesting stories in the end, right? I think I'd be kind of disappointed if it was along the lines of like, we do this because, you know, we want to destroy civilization. That kind of like fully evil villain is a little bit, would be, I think, a little bit bad. Anyway, I like talking about stories, and I like talking about like narratives and stuff, because I feel like that's something I'm really passionate about. I really like stories, and I like talking about stories and what makes them tick, and why I like this, why I find stories interesting. So that's why I'm here. Critics can be constructive and in good faith. Yeah, I do agree with that. I mean, okay. Well, to be honest, I think you can just be a hater sometimes. I think it's perfectly reasonable sometimes to just be a hater, right? But I think if you're doing that, you shouldn't try to pass it off as trying to be constructive. I think if you're just being a hater, you should just say like, oh, I'm trying to help the game be better, right? I think that's kind of ridiculous. And I think that like people who are, how do I say, I think being a hater is funny, and I think you know, I respect the grind sometimes, right? But yeah, it's just gonna talk about it, it's just boring. You wouldn't even bother talking bad about it. That's also true. Yeah. You feel like some people trash talk the game solely on the gacha? That is true. I really, okay. Can I say, guys, a little bit less about Enfield and more about like internet culture. I think it's so annoying. I think it's so annoying when people go on the internet, like this new gacha game that's coming out, right? They look at the gacha system, they're like, oh, that gacha system's so good, right? Like I remember back when Enfield was in beta, everyone was like, oh my god, Enfield's gacha is so generous. Sure, there's no 50-50, but like, you know, and like, but you're guaranteed the character in 120 pulls. That's less than all the other gachas, you know? And then also the percentage chance of getting the character you want is higher, right? Everyone was saying stuff like that. And it's like, oh, you get a lot of free pulls, etc, etc, etc. But now that the game's actually out, people are like, wow, this game sucks. It doesn't give you any pulls, right? I can't get the character I want. This game sucks, right? It's like the public perception changed like completely 180, essentially overnight when the game released. And that to me, like, it's kind of silly. That's kind of silly. Especially because is the gacha the only thing you care about in the game? Is pulling the thing you care most about in the game? Because I think like part of the how do I say, part of the experience of playing a gacha almost is like choosing who's worth your time, essentially, right? Like, yeah, you can like these characters, you can like that, you can like all the characters, right? But it's not about who you, it's not about like getting who you like, it's about choosing like and making an active decision who's worth it for you, right? And I feel like that's more relevant, essentially. If you gotten them all, you also wouldn't play the game anymore. I don't think that's true either, to be fair. I think it's only true if you play for the sake of collection. Right? The story lacks real stakes. I hope Wuling Checker picked it up. Yeah, that's kind of my vibe as well. Not like it's like stakes emotionally and physically, right? Like you're as the player, you don't feel like you're invested emotionally in some of these characters, and that's really also. Sorry, can I say real quick because I just picked up some wood? What the hell is wood used for, guys? Am I crazy? Am I stupid? Like I feel like I've never seen wood used for like in anything. Is there like is this material useful at all, or is it just there? Sorry, off topic. They forget the game part. Yeah, for real. I think if you're using a gacha game as a collection simulator, there's better games to play. Pokemon TCG, for example. TCG? Yeah. Level 1 to 20 cute. That's crazy. I didn't even know that. I thought wood was I thought wood would be like useful for construction at all. That's crazy. I didn't realize. Anyway. Anyway. Well, I guess I'll get some more since we're here. But yeah, no, I think judging a game based on its gacha system and like the and not like the characters. How do we say? I don't see people complaining about Ember being a bad unit as much as people complain about like not even a bad unit, dude. Like I don't see people complaining about Ember like existing in the story. I've never seen a single person say like, man, I wish Ember was in the main story. That's never come up on my Twitter feed once, alright? Meanwhile, everyone's complaining about like, man, we're not getting enough pulls. And I think that's kind of backwards, alright? Shouldn't we be like, shouldn't you want to see Ember to see if you would want her before you pull her? I mean, obviously Ember's like not a permanent character, so like, she's a permanent character, so she did like she's timed to come out. But like I feel like that's backwards, right? Is that like I don't know if that's just me. But like why would you want more pulls before knowing what you're pulling for, essentially? The characters and their files are more plush than they're represented. Oh no, I've heard that a lot, right? And like I don't doubt it, and I haven't spent the time to read it yet. But I just think it's backwards. I just think it's backwards. Right? Like you shouldn't need to get to know a character by pulling them, right? Pulling them should be because you like the character, because you want to spend resources on them, because you think that they deserve it, right? Essentially. We do need more polls. Okay. I'm not saying we don't need more polls. I'm just saying I think the criticism is a little bit backward, right? Like from the perspective of like I want this to be a good game. I think polls is a little bit secondary, especially because like opinions on how good a gacha is vary so much. Ember's actually pretty nutty, in the sense that she's crazy, or the sense that she's interesting or fun to play or good at the game, good for the game. I don't pull her because the way they introduce her is just F kiss. I mean that's fair. I think if you have a preference and like you know, I think that's perfectly valid, right? Anyway, what else was I said? My brain. I was also complaining about this on the live stream, right? And like this is a little bit like nuanced. All right, so I think it might be like a little bit strange to understand. But I think it's a little bit odd that they started out the entire live stream with bug fixes or like things that they're changing about the game systems. Because to me, if a game is fun, or like the thing that I care most about the game, which is in this case would be like the story and the world and the lore. If that's interesting to me, I can overlook a lot of like, you know, like maybe things that make the gameplay less smooth, right? Like I can ignore a lot of annoyances if the primary draw of the game is really strong. But I feel like by putting the bug fixes and like these like changes in the start of the stream, it's almost like they're prioritizing that and like community feedback, we'll say, over like the identity of the game almost, right? And like, okay, I can understand wanting to prioritize player feedback, but I don't know. It felt like from a thematic perspective, it felt more like the devs cared about what other people have to say about the game rather than what they have to say about their game. Does that make sense? I play games because I want to see other people's perspectives on ideas and issues, not because I want my own to be reflected necessarily. Hey, definitely good to see you again. I didn't try for like killing characters, even playable ones. I think that's kind of like 50-50. I could go either way on that. Killing characters is like, it can make for a good story, it can make it for a bad story. It depends on how you do it. It doesn't like, I don't think murder is necessarily an indicator of a good game or not. I think what's maybe like equally as potent, maybe, is like fear of failure, right? Like what do we lose if we fail, right? And maybe in this case for ENDFIELD, it's like we lose all of our technological progress, right? That's the fear that we have. We worked so hard to do all this for the world, and it could be taken away just like that, right? That'd be a pretty interesting draw. And because also like people have their own emotional connection to this kind of how do I say, technology that we're building. I think it'd be interesting. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of ideas I could talk about. And like I don't want to say like I could rewrite the stories better, but I kind of could. Is that too arrogant of me to say? Like I don't want to say like, oh, you know, like I feel like a lot of these stories are kind of bad, but I could do it better, but I kind of could. I feel like. Anyway. Well, the stakes are kind of let you know your wife will be okay and they have plot armor just because. Well, I think safety isn't the only thing that matters, right? I think the physical like, you know, physical not being in harm is one thing, but like I think emotional distress is almost like is just as potent, right? I had this hunch that we are the baddies. Yeah, like I want that to be like discussed at all. The thing about us being the bad guys and like polluting and destroying civilization, I wish that was discussed at all, dude. That's such an interesting premise, but we don't even like hint at it, man. Anyway, so I'm saying like death can be good. I feel like I've seen stories where death is like really badly used though. Is kind of my vibe, and so I personally shy a little bit away from that. I can see ENDFIELD losing trust with people. Yeah. You're a fanfic where we can find some. We can seriously actually write better. How do I say? I have written fanfic, and like I write on and off kind of vibe. I don't think I'd ever share it though, because I really feel like, how do I say? I share it with people who don't know who I am. I don't really want to tie it to me as my identity, because like that's kind of like scary to me. But we could do like a live writing session. I'm okay with that. That's a different story. That's really funny to say though. I do like that. I do like the concept of a streamer claims that they can write better than the game developers, and then you get to look at their fan fiction and you're just like, man, this person sucks. The idea of that's really funny, and I like that. But yeah, no, I would totally go through like a here's how I would like to Valley 4 to go in Arcanite's Endfield. You know, I would like to do something like that maybe. Live reading of your fanfic? I'd watch that. I wouldn't read. No, I wouldn't read my own fanfic. I would be writing fanfic on stream. That's a whole different can of worms. Reading my own fanfic, that's like third-hand embarrassment, like 4 times over. What's that over there? Oh, well. I've seen lattes work on Wattpad. Okay, you know, that's a really funny thing. How do I say this? When I was 8, let's say, I don't actually know if I was 8, but when I was around 8 or so, I wrote a fanfic that I posted on Wattpad. And how do I say this nicely, right? It was a terrible fanfic. It was like you know how kids really like crossover stories? I won't tell you which fandoms it was for because that's really embarrassing for me. But I wrote a fanfic like crossovering some of my favorite like books at the time. And I was really proud of it, right? I put so much of my soul, my tiny child brain into that thing. And I got one hate comment on it, right? Nobody read my fanfic, right? But at one time I got a hate comment. It wasn't even a hate comment. It was, I don't even remember what it said. It was like a really mild one. Right? I was convinced it was one of my friends. They secretly hated me and they wrote a hate comment on my fanfic because they wanted to tell me that they hated me without telling me they hated me, you know? And then I stopped writing for the next 10 years. Because I was so distraught about that. I ended up going back to writing later on because how do I say? I have a lot of like philosophy, I guess, that I think about. And because a lot of my philosophy is kind of like interconnected, it helps me like organize my thoughts if I write it down, right? And so that's something I do in my own time, and that's like where some of my writing is now. And then sometimes I write fanfic because I like I like making characters that I like kiss, right? Maybe a long time latte viewers will understand what fandom and what ship it likely is for. I won't tell you guys outright though. You could probably find out on yourself. And then whether or not you find out the specific fic that maybe fics plural, right? That I wrote, you know, that's up to you and how dedicated you are, right? Like I'm not confirming nor denying anything. But anyway, that's how my writer career started essentially. Although I will say, as a writer, I'm so bad at writing when I'm not motivated. I'm only good at writing like the specific point I'm hyperfixated in. This is true for research papers as well, right? Because I do a lot of writing for school. So like in all of my assignments that I've submitted, you have like two or three paragraphs that are really good because I was like really locked in, right? Like, oh, here's this thing that I have evidence for, and I have a really compelling argument for it. And then you have the third paragraph, I'm just like, well, whatever. And you can tell how much worse it is because it's anyway. That's some lore. So, the long and short of it is, yeah, let's write fanfic for let's do a fix-it fic of Arcanite's Endfield. I think that'd be really interesting. Yeah, especially knowing what we know now. Yeah, that'd be really interesting, I think. Anyway, let me check out what all these notifications are so I can like actually claim them. And then chances are we'll pop on the stream another time this week and we'll do some Yvonne quest. Hey Ghostamin, it's good to see you. Hope you're doing well. I think one of the biggest obstacles to storytelling is the open world 3D game format. Oh yeah, no, I've been seeing this opinion around a lot, and I was kind of like skeptical because I think Genshin Impact. Okay, like unironically, I think Genshin Impact is one of the best works of fiction in history, right? And like that's a crazy thing for most people to hear, right? I think Genshin Impact is one of the best media works of storytelling in history, right? And so I was really skeptical to take that open world 3D games are an obstacle to storytelling, but then I started like listening and like looking more at why people think this. And honestly, I'm starting to all I'm hearing is Hoyosha. No. I specifically only like Genshin Impact. You can't be a Hoyosha if you only like one of the games. All right? Well, that's a whole different story anyway. But I was like listening to more opinions about this, and I think that it actually is a very good point. But not because of the open world aspect, I guess, right? I think the issue is more like... I didn't get that. That's crazy. I think the issue is actually more rooted in capitalism, right? I think stories could be better if you didn't have the incentive to make money off of it. Right, if you just made a story for the sake of making a good story. You made a whole video on why you like Genshin Impact? Yeah. Anyway, that's a whole, I mean, I talked about like some really basic stuff, I think, in that video. I mean, like, I wish I could go into more detail about it, but like, I think it's really difficult to make intensive presentations because people get lost very easily if you talk too much about deep stuff. So you gotta like introduce it slowly, you know? Anyway. My point is though, open world games, I think the reason they're a barrier to storytelling is because the effort involved in creating it is a lot higher, right? And because you need to allocate money in general instead of just on the writing team. Right, I think if you have a conceptual framework of everything, it's like it's a little bit easier than just like you know, like modeling it everything. But how do I say? Yeah, I guess it's just because of the monetary financial incentive and like how, you know, it's work that you need to be paid for, right? Anyway, this could go into capitalism theory and like, and I don't really want to do that today. But like, if you like how do I say? You could make a really good story if you weren't incentivized to do it aside from like of your own will, essentially. Is how I think, and it's the resource scarcity that makes stories feel rushed or short or inadequately like explored, right? More often than not, it's not about the skill of the writer, it's more about resource constraints, physical constraints, right? So that's kind of the vibe I'm getting, right? I think Enfield writers have ideas. I think they have interesting ideas. I just don't know if like these guys in particular are the ones that are making a good story, because I haven't seen a good example, right? But like if they had more time to write, I'm sure they could come up with something really good. That's what I think. Anyway, so basically the end of it all is we need to abolish capitalism. This is not a should. We need to abolish capitalism. Ending today's stream with a political message. Remember that there is no ethical consumption under capitalism. And there is no like moderation of capitalism that would make things okay, because this is the problem. This is the root of the problem. And the system that we live under is designed to be this way, and then anything that you think otherwise is very, I mean, I think it's worth exploring why you might favor the system, you know? Wink emoji. I just made that to the format. Yeah. No, like, if we're talking about like actually like, the game, this specific game in a vacuum, I hope that their writers are able to like develop better stories under the time constraints that they're under. I imagine that's quite severe considering that they had to do a lot of animations on top of it. But I hope eventually that they'll be able to get their act together, and then we'll see some really interesting stories from them. I also hope they address. Okay, maybe this is too much to ask for. But one thing I kind of want them to address, and this is like for a personal reason, I hope they address why these guys who have lived here for hundreds of years have different accents. Because I'm genuinely, because like it implies cultural differences where they have like, you know, different languages. It makes sense for Wolfguard and Rossi that they would be, you know, Italian because they have their own like, we'll say like their own tribe, we'll say. Right, but then like having the UWST guys who presumably all come from a similar cultural background with like 5 different accents. I'm genuinely really curious what their reason for that is. Anyway. That's a lot of yapping that I just did in the last 30 minutes. So thank you guys for joining me for that. I'm always down to listen to any criticism of... Well, okay, let me rephrase that. I won't like listening to any criticism because I feel a little bit sad about it. But I am open to hearing about criticism. Criticizing me as a person will make me feel a little bit sad. But you know, I suppose it's whatever, right? Personal feelings be damned. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts though. In general, Valley Force weak interest comparisons are Bellabog, although Enfield art style goes really hard. Oh, for sure. I definitely agree with that. EWST people are from Terra, aren't they? It seems like they're natives for the most part, actually. That's what I've gotten. Some like a lot of the people we talk to, it sounds like they've worked here essentially their whole lives, right? That this is where they grew up, right? You can kind of see that also with the number of kids that are around in UWST like facilities and like areas. Maybe not like the Power Plateau specifically. Oh, I mean, there's a child right there. But like also in the other, like the refugee camp, for example. Well, the refugee camp is the refugee camp, so actually that's different. But if you like in the workers' dorms, for example, or like here, there's like that's a child. That's another child right there, right? It kind of implies to me that they live here, and then this is like a worker city almost, right? Like a company city. I think that's what they're called. So there's that. Yeah, but I keep getting distracted. Sorry. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on the story. If you guys agree with my opinions, if you don't agree with my opinions, why you disagree with my opinions. Anything I didn't mention, perhaps. Terrans migrated over to us 200 to 300 years ago. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it doesn't. I don't know. For me, there's a little bit of an incongruency, like a disjointedness there. But I don't know. Because people living grew up there all their lives. Yeah, but if they grew up and lived here this whole lives, why would they have a lot of different accents, you know? That's one thing I was thinking about. Sorry, anyway. The accents thing, genuinely, I am really confused about because I think it's explained on Arknights as like different countries, right? Different countries naturally will speak different ways because, you know, that's culturally how it is. But that's not so much the case within the UWST, for example. I disagree with you taking capitalism. I do enjoy your stream. That's okay. No worries about that. We can always talk about that in the future if you want to. I mean, need is subjective, right? But what else is there? If you guys, I mean, you know, if you guys want to hang out more in the future, I'm taking a break for the rest of the week probably because I streamed a lot last month and I'm still on rest technically. So I'll see you guys over the weekend. On the Saturday or the Sunday, whichever one I feel like streaming on, and we'll probably be doing more Enfield, I guess, because I don't think regular Arknights has an update, right? And we kind of gotta finish Yvonne's story before we get into the new update, right? Also, I probably want to go through some of these side quests as well, so like there's also that. So there is that. But anyway, thank you guys for joining me today. Have you guys had fun? I'm sorry it's a mass F15 fan. We're about to end it right now. My bad. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me today. Have you guys had fun for my yap session, which I sure do a lot. Maybe next stream? Yeah, maybe next stream. And I hope you guys continue to support. You know, if not Arknights Enfield, maybe you should hang out with me. You know, we'll talk about cool stuff here sometimes, perchance. I don't know, maybe I don't know. And before I lose my voice, Thank you guys for joining me again, and I'll see you guys on the weekend. And enjoy your lives, my fellow guys. Yeah, 07.